Manual shutdown sequence initiated.
Skills we can give to Jarvis immediately, right? So let's see. So I'm going to be doing this project along with you, and it's not, something which I'm, I've already done it. So we're going to be doing this live. So yeah, we're going to be adding this skill. So basically what Gemini is going to be doing now is it's going to, use our existing, structure, and we're going to be creating a new, Python file similar to file manager and system control. We're going to be using a system information or resource monitor file, and Jarvis is now going to be able to get some insights about our system, and that's going to be our motive behind this. So basically what it's saying is we need a certain util or a library to do that, right? So we need a PS util and GPU util. So I think PS util and GPU util sort of gives us our Python project access to system diagnostics. So let's go ahead and install it, right? So go back to your project and let's clear this, right? And then let's install pip install PS util and GPU util, right? It's gonna pull that libraries, and we're gonna quickly go to requirements, and we hope that these two are now gonna be forever part of the requirements. So let's go ahead and save it. So yeah, we've installed these two libraries, successfully built and installed. Now let's go back to Gemini. So Gemini is telling us to navigate to the core tools and create a new file called system diagnostics. So that's the standard operating procedure for us. We're going to be following Gemini to generate code. Those days we used to, couple of 3-4 years back, we used to do this all on our own. But there's no harm in getting code generated now, right? Let's go to tools folder and create this new file called system diagnostics. And so it's basically given us a skill which we can implement into our Gemini. Basically, the skill is to get the CPU usage frequency and some sort of response of the RAM used, storage, GPU related queries, storage related, battery, hardware, structural, and it's going to have a schema. So it's going to be basically have a system prompt that's going to be helping us. So let's copy this code right? And let's go to the created file system underscore diagnostics and save this. Basically what this is going to do is this is going to help Jarvis get some idea into the system. And now let's import that into our initiating file. So let's go ahead. So we need to improve this. So let's add this. Yeah, it's given the system audio tool. That's something which I was experimenting earlier on. We'll do that later. So what I added in this file was this line number 4, where I added system diagnostic and then I registered this skill. So this is a very standard industry pattern which we are going to be doing. So this will help us, have a very structured industry standard. So that's why we're going to be following this. So let's go ahead and now we installed the skill. Let's go back. Let's read. So basically, once we mounted our diagnostic module, now we are going to have some prompt system resource metrics. If requested, we need to check the computer performance. So it's basically a long prompt, right? So this is for the system resource metrics. Let's copy that. Let's go to our config.py and go to our critical workspace protocols. And let's create a new entry here. So our new entry, what is this? It's the 8th main skill, system resource metrics. And it's going to be a part of this system prompt. Base prompt is going to be what we have here. It's basically Jarvis, the character we give him. And then we have workspace protocols. So these are very focused prompts for certain skills, right? So we've added the system resource metrics as part of the existing workspace protocol. So yeah, let's move. So let that, let's go back to Gemini. Yeah, so basically, how do we verify this? So we have certain skills here, right? Saying Jarvis, how is my GPU looking right now? So immediately Jarvis follows this protocol. So I would give you a few minutes to go through the protocol which we have here. So if you look at what we have here, this is how Jarvis, calls. It calls get immediate metrics. That's part of the skill. And then it uses the GPU util library which we installed. Then it directly reads in, and then the Llama 3.1 model helps process that information and gives us in a presentable form. So that's how it works. So yeah, just a minute. We are going to be testing out the skill shortly. So I'm just going to be sharing the part 2 link. A minute. Yeah. So just sharing the links across socials. So I think it's time to test our newly added skill. So we're going to be checking our GPU usage, processing, and some basic system performance. So yeah, let's ask Gemini to give us a basic test suite. So it's going to give us the test prompts which we can use to sort of test the skill. So yeah, so let's go ahead and create this file called system control test, right? And let's go back to our project, go to our test suite and create a new file. So let's call it system resource test prompts. We're going to copy this. So basically it has a single direct queries where I say J.A.R.V.I.S, what's our current CPU utilization or how much memory or allocation load or so on. So then I can also, say, since our Llama 3.1 is really potent, right? We can ask some parallel multi-resource targeting, right? J.A.R.V.I.S check my processor usage and RAM stats. Like this is simultaneously, it needs to check both. And then we can also check some global raw machine monitoring, like J.A.R.V.I.S run a full real-time system diagnostic report, and we can ask it to log it into our folder structure. So then we can also have some, slang and conversational, prompts, saying are we maxing out our memory profiles or something like that? J.A.R.V.I.S, how's my VRAM looking, right? So yeah, so just like you and me, you guys, I'm doing this out of sheer interest and sheer inspiration from Iron Man. So please feel free to drop in any kind of suggestions, updates. So yeah, so before we move and test our new skill, so if you look at the project J.A.R.V.I.S, we have to create another folder called storage 0, and J.A.R.V.I.S can access any files inside that. So this is the setup we have right now. So once you clone this, make sure you install or you create a new folder and call it storage 0. Otherwise, J.A.R.V.I.S will create it for you. So yeah, so when you go here, let's add it in step 1.1. So you create new folder and call it storage 0. Don't forget this. Yeah. Yeah. So let's go back. So yeah. Wake up, J.A.R.V.I.S.
Online and ready, sir.
J.A.R.V.I.S, what is our current CPU utilization?
Sir.
How much memory is the system using right now?
Sir.
Mute.
Manual shutdown sequence initiated.
So we have a problem with J.A.R.V.I.S. It's not giving us the values, right? So We got to fix him, right? So yeah, so what's the problem statement here? So the problem statement is Jarvis understands, but he doesn't, accurately respond. We got to fix that. So how do we fix that? So yeah, let's go back to our drawing board here. So this is our system diagnostic skill. So if you look at it, whenever the skill is called, he's going to be calling this get immediate metrics function, and he's going to be targeting the resources, right? It's like CPU, memory. So there is something wrong with this skill. Probably it's not getting the right information. So let's try and go back to Gemini and say what we saw, right? So what did we see? So we see this is what happened, right? So let's put in that metadata. So Jarvis responded with just sir and did not give any valuable or any data on the system resources. So let's see. So we're going to be using Gemini to do the debugging for us. And yeah, I think that's a classic symptom of model structural text alignment. What's happening here is timing clash. So yeah, so Llama 3.1 is emitting its spoken response before Python tool is returned. Okay, so what do we do here? So user input, how much memory is the system using? Yes, that's what I said. Then model calls, Llama 3.1 intercepts the speech. It evaluates the tools and outputs a JSON invocation request. The engine interception. So our main pack catches this JSON and halts text generation and runs a Python function and catches the output. System memory usage is at. Engine injects this. So if Java says, sir, your engine is likely missing step 4. So I think we're going to be doing some corrections to the main, right? So right now, if we go back to our main, we have 107 line numbers, right? So let's copy that. This is our present main.py. Let's copy this. Gemini seems to be stuck. Come on, Gemini, come on. Wake up. Okay, this is our present main.py. Let's fix this. So I'm going to be giving our existing main.py. So it's found out a flaw in intelligent response. So the current architecture is it has a response and it goes to the brain.think. So basically that's the block where it passes the raw text query and it expects a string back. But when our memory skill is triggered, we got to introduce step number 4 of the cognitive loop. So that's when our llama intercepts the speech, evaluates the list, and outputs the JSON. This JSON needs to halt the existing generation and it needs to catch the output and it needs to return it to the user, like system memory usage is at 42%, sir, or something like that. So yeah, let's copy the fixed main.py. I'm going to be copying the new main.py. And just going to look at the brain.py. Right. So I've updated, the main.py, where it's going to be adding a certain architectural change, where it's going to be, sort of having the intelligent response intercept the current text generation. So let's probably run the project. Python space main.py. Yeah, so we have an issue. So let's copy paste our bug. So basically what happens is the main.py has an import assistant brain, and that imports a registry, right, from the base tool. So there's a import related issue. Let's copy the base.py. So I've just updated the base.py. So basically I need to import a certain function called assistant brain, which was not imported. So I've done that now, right? So yeah, I think it's on. Jarvis.
Online and ready, sir.
What is our current CPU utilization? I think we face an issue on the attributes of the skill. So we're going to be posting our bug. We're going to be giving our existing, base.py that has a list of our skills, right? So let's, try to find out the issue here. So basically, the attribute error is a simple naming mismatch, right? Okay. So we're gonna be updating the registry.py and needs to match our base tool. So basically this is an error with an architecture flaw. So let's go ahead and update our registry.py and let's run again. So basically when we call an information requirement to Jarvis, it's going to be processed in the brain.py, where the brain.py is going to go and find out what all the tools it has, like file manager, system, diagnostic, control, and it's going to be going to understand what it has by going to the registry. So this is where we register our tools. So that was, not imported. There was an issue with that. So that's something which we fixed now. So let's start our testing again. Jarvis, wake up. Jarvis, wake up. Good morning.
Online and ready, sir.
Jarvis, what is our current CPU utilization?
Sir.
Mute.
Opening all files in React. Executing open file on each item. Success React project opened with 44 active file entities.
Jarvis, stop. Jarvis, give me a breakdown of our GPU load.
Sir. Manual shutdown sequence initiated.
So yeah, we have a bug with us where Jarvis is able to call the metrics, but he's not able to retrieve any valuable information for us. So I think we're gonna go back to the brain.py, and then we're gonna go back to his skill and see, what's the issue here. So the system diagnostic py is the skill in the part of his brain that is going to be dealing with fetching certain metrics, and I think he's having trouble processing this information and giving it to us in readable form. So yeah, let's take the help of Gemini to sort of help us debug, right? So yeah, so this is our system diagnostics skill, and Jarvis just responds with "sir" for any metrics asked. So that's our problem. So Jarvis is unable to get the CPU utilization or the RAM allocation because he is, unable to process this, right? So yeah, let's see what Gemini helps us debug. I think there's a architectural fix required in the brain where it needs to follow a certain method, step-by-step method where I speak, Jarvis goes and searches, and then Jarvis responds, right? So I'm gonna copy the fix which Gemini has given. So basically, the fix is we're gonna have an explicit multi-turn state synchronization. That means Jarvis is gonna, say sir only after it's gonna get my information. It has a chance to understand what our, skill has got. So when I say, hey Jarvis, what's my CPU utilization? So until it's processing that, Jarvis is not gonna respond to me. It's gonna go look at it. And we're also having a deterministic tool approach for this. So where we, first stop Llama from guessing and making up stuff. So it needs to match GPU if I say GPU, right? So yeah, let's update the brain. Let's go to the brain. We're going to be updating the brain, and we're going to see what updated, right? So basically the architectural change suggested by Gemini, I'm just going to directly paste it here. And then we are going to restart Jarvis. So yeah, let's go ahead. We've restarted Jarvis now. Wake up, Jarvis.
Online and ready, sir.
Jarvis, what is our current system CPU utilization?
Sir.
Jarvis, open Discord.
Sir.
Jarvis, open Google Chrome.
Sir.
Jarvis Open React project.
Sir.
Jarvis, how many files are there in my React project?
There are 44 files in your React project, sir.
Can you log this conversation with the timestamp in the React project?
Sir.
Jarvis, are we running on battery or are we plugged in?
Sir.
Jarvis, break down our GPU load and available storage and lock that information in a file in our React project.
Name get immediate metrics, parameters target resource storage.
Mute.
Entering standby mode. I will be listening if you need me.
So yeah, what we see here is Jarvis is able to open applications. He's able to, even add, a certain conversation. You see here, right? We added a certain conversation. He's able to do that. He's able to, create files. He's able to open projects. But I think he's somewhere still unable to access the system core and unable to get us some resources, right? So we need a few things from Jarvis, right? So we need like, what do we need? We need like, the system resources, information. We need memory. We need GPU information. We need breakdown. So I think Jarvis is able to, navigate the system, navigate the file systems. But I think the real problem comes into the system diagnostics file, where he's unable to understand the allocation and the metrics across the board. And I think that's something to do with how he's, identifying and processing this information. So I think if you are able to fix that, we can get some information. So right now, Jarvis isn't going to reply to me because I have said mute. Unless I say the wake word, he isn't going to reply. So yeah, let's go back to our drawing board with Gemini, right? And let's copy what happened. So what did we do? So we asked for certain GPU and CPU related information, and we couldn't get us. So yeah, so Jarvis couldn't still read out the metrics. Let's fix this. Basically, Gemini has context of what we're doing. So yeah, so I think it has something for us. So look at what Jarvis's output. Instead of speaking normal text, he's continuing the loop and he's literally spitting out, stringified JSON dictionary. So the core issue is we requested a complex multi-step action. So get the GPU stats, get the storage stats, save
Online
the
and ready, sir. Manual shutdown sequence
shutdown.
initiated.
Yeah, shutdown Jarvis. Wait for me to talk. Yeah, so get the storage stats and then save that data into a file inside your React workspace. So Llama is trying to call multiple tools and fulfill this. It's emitting parallel tool calls. Loop expects model to run one tool call. Executed. Okay. So the brain is unable to, handle multiple tool calls. So these are our tools, right? So these are registered, and then I think our brain can handle a single tool call. It's not, ready to have chained operations, right? So let's go ahead and update that. So let's go to our brain file. Let's update the fix which is given to us by Gemini. So basically it has a cognitive multipass where it can have multiple, tool calls. So yeah, let's spin it up. Python space main.py. Wake up, Jarvis.
Online and ready, sir.
What's the capacity of our GPU load?
Sir, I have confirmed the immediate system metrics for your request.
Jarvis, give me the readings for our GPU temperature.
Sir, the current temperature of your NVIDIA GPU is at 72 degrees Celsius.
Jarvis, how much RAM do we have left?
Sir, you have approximately 12.5 GB of available RAM remaining.
Are we maxing out our memory profiles?
Sir, your system's memory allocation is currently at 61.6, which indicates that you are approaching the maximum allowed threshold for optimal performance. I recommend adjusting your applications or closing unnecessary processes to maintain a healthy memory balance.
So if you see now, Jarvis is able to, get access to our system resources. So I think we have fixed the bug. We have allowed multi-tool interaction with our brain. And now brain is able to go to this base PY and understand the different tools it has. And we have three tools, mainly the file manager tool, the system control, and the system diagnostic. And it has been registered here as well. And we have these tool files. So now Jarvis is able to understand all the different tools we have, and he's able to respond. So yeah, so this ends the part 2 of the video. And AI slash
Sir, it appears that the system resources are now accessible and within normal operating parameters. The multi-tool interaction protocol
Jarvis,
is functioning
mute.
as intended, allowing for seamless communication between our systems.
Jarvis, you
I
can
am
shut
ready
down.
to assist you.
I'm shutting down Jarvis manually. So basically, yeah, we have learned to debug with Gemini. We've learned to add skills. So right now we have some file manager skills, we have control skills, we have system diagnostic skills. It's able to get us memory profiles, GPU profiles. And yeah, in the next part of the video stream, that's the part 3, we are going to be looking at a little more advanced, skills we can give Jarvis, like, so let's go back to Gemini. So yeah, so we're going to add some more skills, and we're going to be adding some very useful skills like understanding some network related boundaries, or some search engine, or probably even set up a code analyzing tool or a project RAG where we can understand some details. And we can also have some orchestration skills where I can do some commands and ask Jarvis to get something for me, or go and search the web and get me some information and process, or scrape the web. So yeah, so we have basic skills set up, and we're going to be improving this horizon. So we have skill number 1, file management. So basically Jarvis is going to be our PMO. We're going to add more skills on that. And then we have skill 2 where Jarvis has system resource access. So it's going to be our system admin, and it's right now has skill to shut down, restart, on standby, sleep, volume. So it has all those basic skills. So in our upcoming part 4, we are going to be adding custom skills. So basically Jarvis is going to get something for us. So if we say, hey Jarvis, get me the best photo, or the biggest photo I have, or the smallest photo I have, or a certain video or an audio, or a certain video file or an image file. Yeah, so basically custom request is something I'm going to add. The skill 5 which we're going to add is this is something which I'm very excited about, Jarvis to explore the web and return his findings. So we're going to be adding that. And the other skill is broadcast. So Jarvis is going to send us broadcast via WhatsApp for now, and it's going to be automated or manual. We're going to request something and he's going to send it to us. So yeah, so these are the upcoming skills in the next stream. So stay tuned and let's build just really interesting and something which we learn with AI, and also learn together and debug together. And so please stay tuned for the next stream. I'll probably release it tomorrow, and I think this will help us get some really structural knowledge on using these AI models and fine tuning them to use it to our certain needs. So yeah, I think once we have something in mind, like a completed base structure, I have an idea of building a UI, something on top of this Python backend. So right now we have this Python backend or a Python service running, and we're going to be using this as our core brain for Jarvis. And I have some ideas where we can build a UI. So right now we look at Jarvis only through these command prompts. So probably we can build a customized UI, something like this, where we can see everything in visual. But yeah, that's all for the next streams that's coming up. And stay tuned. There are going to be some very interesting streams that are going to be there, where we build this kind of UI. And yeah, that's it for now. Before I log out, I'm just going to give you guys another round of exploration with or testing with Jarvis. Firing him up. So he's not going to be responding to me unless I call for him, right? So that's what we discussed. So let me call him. Wake up, Jarvis. Jarvis. Good morning.
Online and ready, sir.
Thanks, Jarvis. What all the projects do I have?
Sir, the projects currently listed are React and Shield.
Hey, Jarvis. How is my system resources looking like?
Sir, your system resources are currently within normal operating parameters.
Jarvis, open Discord. Jarvis, mute yourself until I call you.
Sir, Discord has been successfully opened.
Jarvis, mute yourself until I call you.
Entering standby mode. I will be listening if you need me.
Thank you guys for tuning in. So I think that concludes our part 2. And yeah, so if you're new here, go back and watch my part 1 and set up the project file. And then watch part 2 where I create a skill for Jarvis. And then part 3 is coming up. And we're going to be doing some really interesting stuff by building custom skills. And everything is local manually, and there is no tuning required. And it's going to be using a general purpose Olama 3.1 model. There's no tooling required at any cost, and tuning is also not required. That's what I meant. So we're using an 8 billion parameter, and we're going to be upgrading as we move. So I have some really good resources attached to my computer, so I'm able to afford a 8 billion parameter. If you feel you can go more, feel free to go more to the 70 billion parameter, and you can change this command to get you the different parameters. So based on the size, I think 8 billion is at 5 GB. So it's doing most of my it's doing most of my basic tasks. So yeah, I'll be adding more skills, like asking Jarvis to get me something, or explore the web, or probably releasing Jarvis into the web and giving him access to the web. And that's going to be a Ultron moment for us. Yeah. So why not Gemini 4? So I'm not using any paid model. Llama 3.1 is local and it's free of cost. It's just using my GPU. So this is a free of cost stuff. So that's why we're not going to be using Gemini. So yeah, so stay tuned for our next stream, and we're going to be adding more skills to our Jarvis. And we're going to also look at building a UI like this, so that all our skills are just displayed. And that's going to be way into the future, but yeah, but for now we are going to be looking at building the solid foundations. Then once we have done with this, we are going to be doing that. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next stream.